Hello everyone. Welcome to my backyard. In sunny Isle of Palms. Dirt all over my feet. I mowed the lawn the other day, so it's pretty nasty. So, true confession, I've never made a video of me doing yoga, teaching yoga, guiding anybody through yoga. So this is the first for me, and I want to just do a one-shot deal. I don't want to agonize over it. I don't want to play it back and criticize myself. So I'm just gonna go for it, and interruptions might happen. Dogs might run through, kids might run through, dogs will bark. We're gonna do our best, which is all any of us can do, is the best we can with what we've got. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start in a comfortable seat. I'm choosing Sukhasana, but any seat you choose that's a comfortable seat is a good seat. So start by closing the eyes. Place the palms on the knees. Place them with the palms facing towards the sky or the ceiling if you're inside. Keep the chin parallel to the floor and close the eyes and just start to focus on the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to calm our mind, slow our thoughts. We won't ever really stop our thoughts, but we can slow them, we can watch them. We can choose to not attach to them and follow them down the rabbit hole that they tend to lead us. So I've been listening to one of my favorite teachers. Every morning he does a guided meditation, and he has reminded me that all a thought is a past memory or a prediction of the future. So thoughts aren't anchored in the present moment. So anytime we're having a thought and following that thought, we're losing our touch with the present moment. We're missing the opportunity that is happening right before us. Take another breath in. And exhale, open the eyes. Start to walk the hands forward. Or I should say, if you're not in a cross-legged seated position, go ahead and do that now if you chose a different seat. And start to walk the hands forward. And when you walk your hands forward, you know, some of us have really tight hips, and your seat might rise up off the mat behind you. So if that happens, only walk as far forward as you can without your sits bones coming off of the mat. You could always take your hands and press them down and press the floor down in a way, kind of like you would in downward facing dog, and that'll push your hips back down into the ground. So go ahead and do that. Drop the head, and you should feel a nice stretch in the outer hip of the leg that is in front. So I miss working out with everybody. And I hope whatever you guys are doing, you're finding joy in it. Making some time to take time for yourself, find peace in the season of slowing down, which is what this is. This is a season of stopping the busy cycle of life, which is what we've always wished for, isn't it? Careful what you wish for. Take your hands to one side. I'm gonna go to the right first. My right leg is in front, and I'm choosing to go to the right first. Again, your hips might rise up. Take your hands, press them into the floor. Press the floor down and away. Big side stretch. Walk back towards the middle. Take it to the other side. So I should have said at the beginning, you guys, feel free to play some music because I just realized I'm not playing any as I hear the trash truck or something drive by. Back towards the front. Walk the hands back in towards the body. Lift the torso up. Switch the legs. Put the other leg in front. I'm going to take it right back down in the center. So I made these earrings. I'm finding time to do things that I used to like to do a lot. I have time on my hands because I waited tables, and that's not happening right now. So I made these earrings like the first day, and I've worn them like every day. I've worn them with my PJs and my robe, worn them planting flowers, wore them to the beach. Like, they're not beach earrings, but you know, I'm just trying to still make myself feel good. Put mascara on yesterday, which I never do that in real life. Take the hands towards the side. I'm choosing to go left now. My left leg's in front, so I'm taking it the opposite side I did the first time. So maybe find some time to do things that you've always wanted to do or used to do, but never had time for. Paint, draw, journal, sleep, meditate. Other side. I'd love to know what everyone's trying to do. So we feel like back towards the center, walk back up. We might feel disconnected from the things that we're normally connected to, but maybe use it as an opportunity to connect to yourself. Because we fill our lives with other stuff, which stops us from connecting to ourselves. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Now, you guys are probably already in the center of your mat. I was not. So I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to wipe off all this stuff from outside, off my mat. So take your feet about as wide as your mat. Lift your hips up. So we're kind of in this squat. Some of you might be up on your toes, and that's okay because we're going to straighten our legs in just a second. So I have my feet about as wide as my mat. My toes are turned out. My hands are on my mat in front of me. I'm going to take a big inhale, lift my heart up, and as I exhale, I'm going to start to straighten my legs, lift my hips, drop my head. The next inhale, I'm going to squat again, lifting my heart. Exhale, straighten. Lift the head, drop the hips, inhale, exhale. If your hands aren't coming to the mat, you can tent your fingers. You can place them on your shins. You can place them on your hips. Just do what you can with what you got. Every exhale brings the hips up. And every inhale lowers the hips and opens the heart. Let's do a few more. Next time your legs are straight, keep them there. Drop the head. You could turn the toes in. Grab opposite elbows if you like. Sway from side to side. Nice and slow. The slower you move, the more you'll feel it in all sections of the hamstring. Come back to center, place the hands on the mat, walk them forward, take the feet back, find yourself in downward facing dog. Press the mat down and away, hips up towards the sky. Heels working their way towards the mat, and the gaze should be back at the belly button. On the next inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. Exhale, step it through right between the hands. Lower the back knee, untuck the back toes. You can stay right here if you like. Kind of nice stretch for the hip flexor of the left leg. If you like to rise up, you can place your hands up on your right knee. Lift the shoulders. Maybe take a slight back bend. Opening the heart. Close the eyes if you like, and just breathe. Open your eyes if you've closed them. Take your hands, place them inside the right foot, and then kind of toe heel walk the right foot over towards the edge of the mat. We're going to come into a lizard pose if we're able. Again, if you can't come all the way down, then just kind of stay here. I'm taking my right leg and I'm pushing it out to the side. You can even come up onto the outer edge of the right foot. You can come down to your forearms if you're able. If you want to take a little different version, you can tuck your toes of the left foot and lift the knee up off the ground. If I do that, I tend to rock forward and back for some reason. I don't know, it feels nice to me. It might feel nice to you, it might not. Do what works. Just take a couple minutes to explore whatever feels right. I like to sometimes take my right hand, twist open towards the right as my right hand is on the right knee. Maybe lift the arm. Just have fun with it. No one's watching. At least no one's watching me, I don't think. My neighbor might be. Come back towards the center. Toe heel the foot. Back towards the center. Tuck the toes of the left foot. Lift the knee. Hands come back to the front. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedaling the feet. Oh, that feels good on my right hip after that. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, stepping it through. Lower the right toes. Untuck the right toes. Rising up. Opening the heart. Maybe taking a slight back bend. Bring the hands towards the center. Toe heel that left foot over. You can take it to the outer edge of the foot. Come down to forearms if you like. Maybe lift the back leg. Maybe rock a little bit. Again, exploring what feels right for you. Might feel different on this side. Come here, Jack. Got my little one-eyed man out here. Come here, Jack. Yoga is about being playful, exploring. It's not about looking perfect in every pose. It's about feeling good. That's all we want. That's all any of us want, is to feel good. Everything we do is to feel good. Coming back up to center. Bringing the foot back towards the center. Tuck the toes, make your way back, downward facing dog. Pedaling. How does that feel? Gaze is back towards the belly button. The belly that's hanging out, that I will leave to hang out because it's my body and I'm grateful for it. And it's not perfect and it'll never be perfect. Take another breath in. And exhale, lower the knees. Untuck the toes. Find your way down to your belly. And do some stretches for the quads now. So I want you to bend your left heel in towards your glute. Reach back with your right hand, if you can catch it. I like to take my right arm, bring my forearm parallel to the front of my mat, so I can kind of use it as like a leg, like a little table leg. And then if you can bring your fingers facing the same direction as your toes on the left leg, and just start to push the heel down outside your hip. Big quad stretch here. Do what you can. If you can't do that, just hold on, just pull it. Just do what feels good. Keep anchoring the hip points, the front of the hip points into the mat. Sometimes it helps to really press the top of the right foot down to kind of stabilize you, keep you from rocking from side to side. Just let the gaze be soft, let the neck be in line with the spine. But the neck is part of the spine, let the head just kind of be an extension of the spine. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly release the foot. Don't let it shoot off like you were holding a rubber band. And let's switch sides. It's a little warm out here today. I'm getting a little sweaty. Left arm comes in front, parallel with the mat. Bend the right heel in towards the glute. Reach back with the right hand. Maybe turning the toes or the fingertips in the same direction as the toes. It's a little harder for me on this side, so I'm not going to be able to do that. And then just pulling that heel down outside the right hip. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release. Not shooting it like a rubber band. And then let's press ourselves back into child's pose. It should feel pretty nice. That's kind of a strain on the low back. So you can bring your toes together, your knees wide. If you need a little more support for your low back, you can bring your knees together so when you rest, your belly is resting on your knees. If your low back feels okay, take the toes together and spread the knees wide and just lay the upper body right in between the knees. Forehead comes to the mat. Another true confession, I don't have any clock out here, so I don't know how long I've been going or how long this is gonna be. So this is an experiment for all of us. But I hope you're enjoying it. Walk the hands back in towards the body. Bring the knees together. And then come to stand up on your knees. I'm going to take Ustrasana, camel pose from here. So you might want to tuck the toes under so that you have a little more height back here. Bring your heels are higher up. If you have more flexibility in your low back. I think my kids are talking to me, sorry. Put your hands on your low back, like you're putting your hands in your back pocket. And just start to lean back. And as you lean back, press the pelvis forward. Pull the shoulders back and down. Drop the head. I can't talk while I'm doing this, so I'm going to guide you through it and then I'll do it. Once your head is leaning back, your heart's open towards the sky. Reach back, see if you can grab one heel, then the other. Once you have a hold of the heels, keep pressing the fronts of the thighs and the hips towards the wall or tree or whatever it is in front of you. Don't look from side to side, open up the neck. come out of it, take one hand to the low back, then the other, start to rise back up, then set the hips back down on the heels. You might feel a little dizzy after that. I just did. Maybe too much coffee and sunshine, I don't know. But I used to do that pose a lot in hot yoga, and every time I came out of it, I just wanted to throw up. Apparently that was supposed to be how you felt. Come back into downward facing dog. Shake the hips from side to side. Wagging your tail a little bit. Drop the knees once more. Come back to sit. Take the legs straight out in front of you. From here, we're going to come into Paschimottanasana. Toes are pointing up towards the sky, rooting to the sits bones. You can always reach back there, grab that flesh and move it so you're rooting down to the sits bones. Inhale, reach the arms up alongside the ears, pull the shoulders down, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips as you fold. Reaching for the toes. So it's not about getting all the way down. It's about taking the heart forward. It's about elongating the whole back of the body. It's about finding length in the spine. So yeah, we might be able to get our head down, but we're rounding in our back, and that's not what I want. I want a flat spine. Some days you might be able to go further than others. I'm not going very far today, but that's okay. Because getting my heart down on my knees isn't what makes me a yogi. What makes me a yogi is putting my cart back at Target or at the grocery store and not leaving it in the parking lot. What makes me a good yogi is thinking happy thoughts about myself and others. Putting my heart on my knees and being super flexible is not what it's about. Opening my heart is what it's about. One more breath in. Another breath out. Inhale, let go of whatever you're holding. Reach the hands forward, hinging from the hips back up in the direction we came from. Relaxing the hands down. Let's come into a straddle, wide-legged forward fold here. I'm gonna face you guys. So once I have my legs spread as wide as I feel like I can, I put one hand in front, I put one hand behind, I lift up and I take my pelvis forward a couple more inches. I feel a nice stretch through the inner groin when I do that. Point your toes up, because sometimes if you let them kind of just flop in the wind, we lose a lot of the stability. So point the toes up, open the heart. Inhale, and then exhale, fold forward. Walk the hands. You might start right here. And then after a few breaths, you might be able to come here. And then after a few more, you get what I'm saying. Keep some integrity in your legs by pointing your toes. Or not pointing, flexing, pointing them up. I wonder what it's like for everyone. Normally you wake up every day and you have a plan. I've got to go here and I've got to be here and pick this person up and then drop this off and then I've got this and that. And now you kind of wake up and you don't have a plan. And it's weird, but isn't it freeing too? You know I've always said, like, probably not the only one who said this, but like, yeah, it'd be nice to just go live on an island and just run a little juice bar, coffee shop, and wake up and you just have nothing to do. Well, that's kind of like what we're doing, right? You don't really have to get in your car and drive anywhere. Most of us don't. So you just hop on your bike, take a little cruise around the neighborhood, Staying 6 feet away from everybody you see, of course. And I'm also just talking because this is strange for me to do this, so pardon me if I'm interrupting your blissful moment of wide-legged forward fold. Just take a couple more breaths here. Rise back up. And we're going to come into a pigeon on our back. So come to lie on your back. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee. Lift the hips up. Tuck the tailbone under so your low back is nice and flat on the mat. Then lift the left foot up, reach in between this little triangle you've made, grab the back of your left thigh or the front of the shin. Lay your head back down, start to pull the left knee in towards the chest. You can use your right elbow to push the right knee away, like this. You can see, I don't know, the sun's in my face, I can't even see. You'll kind of notice as you're pulling the left knee in towards the chest, the left hip, the left side body kind of wants to shorten up. You know, like we're kind of doing a little side crunch. So when you notice that, pull the left hip back down. Try to keep the pelvis level. Rather than shorten up, pull it back down in place. There we go. Take a couple more breaths here. Exhale, release. Place the foot down. Other side. Left ankle crosses over. I'm watching the clouds roll by right now, and there's a big heart in the middle of one of the clouds. I love to see hearts. Lift up. Pull it in. Notice if your right side body's shortening. Pull it back down. Oh, this side's tight. One more breath in here. Exhale, release. And let's just take a happy baby here. So lift the feet up. You can start with the legs straight, like you want to place your footprint on the sky. Take your legs a little wider than your hips and then start to bend them. So you want to think about bringing your knees on the outside of your side here. Grab a hold of the bottoms of the feet if you can from the outside. If you can't grab a hold of that, grab your ankles, grab your shins, just grab the backs of your knees. Whatever you can grab. And then just start to pull the knees down towards the earth. You can kind of play around with it, rock. You can straighten one leg, then you can straighten the other. You can maybe straighten both. Or you could just keep working the knees outside the rib cage. Do that for a few more breaths. And then I want you to find your way onto your back. close the eyes once you're on your back and just let go of any muscle engagement that you have. Just let it go. Relax fully, completely. Just kind of melt into wherever you are. Just kind of picture yourself as a chocolate chip in the sun, and you're just flattening, letting go. And I want you to remain that way for as long as feels good for you. And that'll be your Shavasana. And when you're ready, when your body says you're ready, just start to gently wake it up. Maybe swaying your head from side to side. I always like to take my thumbs and just kind of brush them across all the tips of my other 4 fingers and just kind of feel that sensation. It's just, I don't know, somebody said that once in a yoga class years ago and I always liked it. So I do that. And when you're ready, just make your way up to a comfortable seat, and that'll be the end of your practice. So thank you for joining me. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy, and I hope to see you all again really soon. I'm gonna bring my hands together as you're laying there, hopefully, and tell you that the light in me sees, recognizes, and honors that same light that's living in you and in all living beings. Namaste.